Hey YouTube, today we're continuing to rebuild Bricktown and we're going to be looking at paving foundations. Hey everyone and welcome to Brick Talk TV. Today's episode is part 5 in our series where we're rebuilding Bricktown, and our focus today is building the foundations for the pavements or the sidewalks. If you missed our last episodes where we looked at our modular building grids, or if you missed any of the other episodes in this series, then I'll put a link up in the top right corner here and in the description below to the playlist of the rest of this series. Also, do remember to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video and hit that subscribe button to be notified about future rebuild videos. As I mentioned in our last episode, we left Bricktown looking like this. We had built all of our modular grid building frames and had laid them all around our tables near the new road plates. In this episode, we're going to be building the base of the pavements that will help connect our roads to our modular buildings and to the grids that we built in the last episode. There are still quite a few gaps to fill in, as you can see here, and we need to build some foundations for our paving to raise them up so they're the same level as the roads, which will then enable us to tile the top of the pavement and connect it to the modular buildings that will be sitting on top of our grids. So let's take a closer look at the technique we're going to be using to do this. We start with 2 road plate parts that are already connected using 2x4 tiles. Alongside these road plates, we're going to be laying some plates of various sizes along the sides. The plates we'll use will depend on the space we've got between the road and the grids on our city. Here you'll be able to see we're using 8x16 plates, but we'll also be using 6x16 plates when we get to the more narrow areas. I'm also using bright green here, but we'll be using a mixture of colours as the price changed during different ordering times for me. So when I was ordering off BrickLink, and the price kept fluctuating depending on the different colours I've chosen. So you'll see in this video later all the different types of colours we'll be using. Once we lay the plates along the side, we can then connect those road plates using 2x4 light bluish grey plates. You can see that adding these plates to the road plates has reduced the difference in height between the road plate and the table underneath, but we still need to add some more layers. To reduce the cost at this stage, rather than adding further plates, I'm adding smaller plates at the next level, which will then raise up and enable us to add larger plates on top. So now we're going to add some lime green 2x2 plates to the bright green plates we've already got. Again, I've chosen lime green here as these were the cheapest for this shaped plate. And when you actually see me laying them down in Bricktown shortly, I'll also be using a set of 2x4 bright green plates between the plates to connect them, which adds more strength than just using 2x2 plates. The 2x2 lime plates are added in each corner of the base plate. I've then added a further 2 more in the middle, covering around about stud 8 and 9 on our 16 length plates. This will enable us to cover the plates with another layer of plates and be able to connect several plates together. Once the 2x2 plates are in place, we can then stick a 6x16 plate on top just like this. Here I'm using dark bluish grey plates, but again this was just because this was the cheapest coloured for this shape plate. It was nothing to do with the colour that will match the actual paving that goes on top. We repeat this process again on the opposite side of the street, and you'll notice that those plates have now added some thickness to either side, which now does roughly align to the road plates. You'll also notice here I've left a gap in the road. We have roughly around a 3 stud width gap here. I'm going to be adding a series of 1x8 white plates actually in the video that's coming up shortly where you see me laying it in Bricktown, and that will reduce our gap here to a 2 stud width gap all the way around the road. The reason we've left this 2 stud margin all the way around, as you can see here, is that we're going to be adding some curbs to the side of the road, and to do that we'll be adding roughly 2x16 light bluish grey plates. It's important here that we use the right colour plates, as the edge of these plates will be showing through to the curb, and for the purposes of Bricktown we're going to be using light bluish grey curbs. But for now let's just stick to the foundations and we'll pick the curbs up in the next episode. So now let's flip over to the Lego room and we'll start laying the paving foundations as I've demonstrated here throughout our Bricktown, and you can see how it all comes together. So that's all of our foundations laid for now. As you go through this and take a look, you can see we've laid all of our base plates and added 2 layers of plates on top of that, which so it's now ready for us to start putting on our tiling. The top level plates have also included, as I mentioned earlier, some 1x8 plates in white that go all along the edge, but we've continued to leave that 2 stud gap all around the edge between the road and the pavement. This will allow us in the next episode to go along and start to add some curb detail. We'll also be adding different types of curb, whether that's drop curbs, whether that's lay-bys for buses and other things in future videos. We may also well adapt these plates and start changing some of the layouts and positioning for the buildings once we start putting the modular buildings back inside the city. But for now I'm happy with the general layout of all the added foundations we've done today. If you enjoyed this video, do hit that like button so more people get to see the video, and hit that subscribe button with the bell notification turned on to be notified about our up and coming curb episode. And until then, stay safe and I'll see you then.